All right, let's start taking people at random here. That's the fun thing. You sign up for the boot camp, so I can just yell at you at random. All right, let's test some game knowledge here. And if you don't know the answers, don't be like, don't worry. I'm not gonna like yell at you. I'm gonna yell at you though if I call on you and you're too chicken to talk. All right, what do you know about this matchup? Who should win this matchup? Cassidy versus Ari. He's chickening out.
Hello? No,
Okay.
He keeps muting me.
Okay.
Is it Cassidy?
So, all right, well, let's talk about it. Who do you think wins this matchup and why?
I feel like Cassidy can get out way easier than Ari can.
So let's dive into your thought process a bit here. When I'm asking who wins a matchup, this is good, by the way. When I ask you who wins a matchup, the way that you should be framing this in your head is you should try to come up with like at what stages or what champion's better than the other.
Okay.
So, for example, right? Who wins this matchup? How about who wins this matchup in the actual early game?
Let's see here. I think early game is going to be Ari.
Okay. Why?
Just her charm. She has a little bit more power early game than Cassidy. But once
Sure.
it scales into mid and late, Cassidy's going to just roll her.
Perfect. So basically, that's a pretty good answer. So basically here, yeah, what you're looking at with this matchup is, generally speaking, Ari's going to have prio on the lane, which means Cassidy's going to be stuck under tower. This is kind of an easier question, mainly because, you know, Cassidy's roughly a fucking melee creep early on. He doesn't really do anything. He does obviously catch back up, but it's not as soon as you would think. It's going to take a lot of time before Cassidy can actually just bully Ari around. I've been on this matchup, both sides, multiple times, and basically what winds up happening is like, yeah, if Cassidy gets a kill or two, it just becomes unsalvageable for the Ari. But as long as Ari stays even or ahead, it's going to take Cassidy a long time to catch up, because anytime Cassidy jumps in, Ari's just going to ult backwards and charm him, or just ult backwards in general. So it's going to be really hard for Cassidy to secure. But if Cassidy's able to get Ari to waste ult for some reason, then yeah, it's kind of Cassidy's just going to have a field day. Good. Everybody understand what we're doing here now? What do we know about this top matchup here? We've got a Galio top versus an Aatrox.
I don't know a ton about Galio top. I haven't really seen it that often.
Well, let's think about it. Who do you think should win?
I think Aatrox should be able to win because of the range.
It's because of the range Q? Sure, and what you just said is probably a better reason why. The Qs, did you hear what you just said? The Qs. Yep. The reason that's relevant is because, think about it like this. Aatrox is really, really good. Aatrox is Walmart Riven. Okay? Think of Aatrox as Walmart Riven. All right? He's the off-brand Riven, right? What's the off-brand version of Fruity Loops? Do you know? Or Fruit Loops? Anybody know? That's Aatrox, by the way. Yeah, this is the way that I would dollar store Riven Sugar Circles. Yeah, this is Sugar Circles Riven right here. So obviously you did kind of nail it. You're like, you know, Galio isn't really a thing top. You're right, but like I would never underestimate a lane pick based on the fact that they're off meta, right? That's how you get into really shitty situations where you wind up losing lane to shit like Sejuani top, which is what a lot of players were doing in the beginning, right? They're like, Sejuani top's so garbage. Look at him taking Ignite. Oh shit, I get solo killed, right? Aatrox has 3 Qs at level 1. That means that any tank matchup, which Galio is, Galio's never going to kill this fucking guy in a million years. So that's kind of how you should look at this, is that like Aatrox going to have full prio. If I'm a jungler Kindred in a high elo game, I want nothing to do with top unless it is like 100% assured in my brain that Graves is not going to be there when I go top. Does all this make sense? You don't want to play into this lane and get 2v2'd because you're just going to hard lose it. Because Aatrox is going to take like half an hour to kill. He's almost always going to get healing off with his Qs, right? Because the way that Galio plays, Galio's going to jump on your head. Aatrox is going to do damage. It's going to happen. It's just whether or not it's an isolated like 2v1 type of scenario. Good. Sweet. Let's look more at bot lane now. We know about this matchup.
Red side has a hard time engaging. Yeah, red side has a hard time engaging because Singe just flips, but Singe also has a sad time.
What about the situation here though?
Yeah, red's probably gonna have a field day with the.
Yeah, I would take a pretty good bet on this one, saying that this is looking.
It just seems like they're gaming from level 1.
They're gaming from level 1. Ezreal and Singed, they're pretty confident though. They're still playing at the wave. Notice that they run up here as soon as they get engaged on, and they let the minions do the work. Both of them playing really, really smartly about it, right? They both immediately go, oh, okay, I'm just gonna leave. Who do you think's got the edge?
I mean, they take. Oh well, I mean, Ezreal takes what 200 damage from the start. So I mean, he's sad, but it's probably not the worst thing in the world.
I think by the look of the posturing here, and how blue side's playing it, Ezreal's got a pretty fast push early on. Singed is not. I don't think Singed is a slouch in like an early fight. Although Singed is kind of weak. Kai'Sa's not very great early either. So I think in this particular situation, this is a trickier one because we were talking about off meta earlier, but this is kind of a weird lane. I think I'm gonna give the push prio to blue side overall, and like you said, it's pretty hard to engage on them because of the Singed flip, because of the fact it isn't Ezreal. It's Korean Ezreal. This is top of the ladder Ezreal, so I'm gonna say blue side has prio most of the time. Cool.
The only other thing I was going to add on to that is that the problem is that red side kind of does get the option of when they're going to engage them. The Singed has to flash to engage, but Amumu can decide if he wants to go anywhere.
Yeah, Amumu can definitely play it off. Oh, there you go.
But then
That's a pretty scrappy bot lane. All right. Now we'll keep watching for a bit. So right now, pretty much a stalemate on bot lane. Huge wave pushing into mid. Where's my junglers at in the chat? Got any junglers in the chat? I want to try their hand at a question.
I'll go.
Who's that? Who said that?
Straight garbage.
Straight garbage. Okay, perfect. So I know if the answer's bad. I know if the answer's bad. I know why. All right, did you play jungle?
Yes.
So what's Graves thinking right now?
Okay, so I just got here. I just heard you say jungle question.
No,
What-
no, that's
what are we
perfect.
doing?
That's perfect. Can you see the
I literally
screen?
just showed up. I can see everything. Yes.
Okay, perfect. So here in the VOD review, look at the mini map here. All right. Based on the information that you see.
Graves is blue or red? What do we got going on here? Okay.
So Graves is
okay.
blue side.
Yep. Okay. Yes.
So where do you think Graves likely is and why?
I'm gonna assume he's on his wolves, where he should be, so he can help this dive.
Help the dive. What do you think? Do you think he protects mid?
I mean,
right?
if I was Graves, his whole red side's up, so I'm assuming he's pathing down. Since the Kindred's over there and her other side's up. Hopefully he's on his wolf, so he's near for when this dive happens to help catch the wave and keep his mid laner alive.
I think that's a pretty good guess, but it's Korea server. Wamp wamp. No, actually, realistically, what it is though is you can see this ward here that Kindred places, right? It's very possible that Graves paths behind Ahri here too, right? Does like some sort of wide angle path. But it's probably not going to happen because if that shows up, then Ahri's just going to path down. But what wound up happening, I think Graves actually wound up going around the ward or tried to go around. High elo gets a little weird because players are always trying to be like super sneaky and different. So I think he maybe sees the ward gets placed. Oh no, he just scoots by. Wow, that's just unlucky for this ward. You see that?
Yeah.
So he just scoots by it. So yeah, I mean, you're mostly right. He's at wolves at the time that we paused. He's roughly at wolves. He's pathing down. So he is around to block the dive, but there's no dive coming because Kindred is, you know, she's just pathing down to bot river. But yeah, I think it's fine. For a second there, I thought Graves like pathed all the way around or something because of this ward here, but no, it doesn't spot him on the cross. I think if anything, this shows that this ward is not that great. Realistically, the ward should be placed more like
half inch
here.
off. Yeah.
Yeah, you would really want to see this cross if you're gonna ward. But you know, these guys are human. Cool. Cool,
Do
cool,
you mind
cool.
if I pick your brain?
Sure.
I wanted to ask if you know why Kaisa took cleanse in this game.
Kaisa took cleanse. Oh yeah. I assume the reason.
You have Kassadin slow and.
Well, I think it's purely because the reason that this particular player is taking cleanse here is because she knows every single time that she goes in, what is Singe gonna do?
He's gonna flip, but you.
It's not
You
the flip.
can't cleanse the
It's
flip.
not the flip that we're after.
I know the W, but.
Yeah, the W. So the W will, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. This is kind of a nuanced one.
I
I'm
thought
pretty
it would
sure-
just persist.
I don't think it does. I'm pretty sure if she cleanses it, then she's able to flash out of it. If I'm not mistaken, because
So I checked
she
it.
probably
It
figures
does
that it's gonna be
remove
there.
ground effect.
Hey, I'm good at my job, kind of. That's a very nuanced interaction, though. If I was wrong, you guys could not have hated me for it. It's a very weird one. But if you think about it, like, I normally will lean on giving these guys credit. They usually know something that I don't, right? When I see a cleanse, like, I can only assume it's a lane specific thing. She obviously hates Singed ground, right? That's all I could think when I saw that. She obviously can't stand it. So that's probably why she decided to do it. That's a really good question, though.
Wouldn't it also be for Ignite?
Yeah. Well, on this team, they don't have it, but the thing is she doesn't know that. So she's probably thinking like, singed poison, ignite, stuff like that as well, right?
Right.
So it has something to do with that. But they don't know, like going into a game, they don't know that Singed is going to have spellbook. Right? They'll have no idea, like going into the game. But she probably assumes like she's going to be dealing with ignite and she's going to be dealing with ground. And then every single time, so like see this here? This is what I'm talking about. So if she feels like, diving in, or if she feels like she gets hard engaged on, she's going to need to be able to get away from the engage. And here's the other point to this that I didn't even really cover, is when when a Singed engages on you, as long as you don't get caught by the engage, Singed kind of just like is useless. Do you understand, guys? Especially a support Singed. Like, he's got like one cheese and then he can't do anything. And then you just space him for the rest of the time. Like, it's just, there's no fear at all. So it's just something to think about. Let's watch this again. All right, Meadows, you here? Is Kindred good to fuck around with the level 5 Aatrox here?
Possibly. The only reason I say
possibly.
That, yes.
Is it a yes or no? I like hard. Listen, you're not gonna look stupid. I already just guessed wrong down here. You're not gonna look stupid to me. Make an assessment. Tell me why.
I think the Kindred's gonna lose.
Okay, you think the Kindred's gonna lose? Why?
Because Aatrox has a level lead. He's 5, she's 4.
Yep.
On top of that, I can see Graves.
You can see Graves moving. Yeah. And
all in the
Singed
mid lane.
on the rotation. Yeah. So if you're
Yeah.
Kindred here, right? Oh shit, I'm gonna probably get rotated on from mid. Where are you likely to go? Where do you want to go?
Top.
Yeah, you're probably going to want to kite to top, right? You have options, right? You could obviously kite this way. And this is the type of stuff that kills players, right? In solo queue. These guys are the best solo queue players in the world, right? Or at least some of them. Now, bad solo queue player is probably going to go this way. I think a mediocre solo queue player is probably going to go this way. Although, I guess, Kindred could do either. She still wants to go and farm, right? I think a really good solo queue player is going to go this way. I think this is a lot more... profitable, at least in terms of like what it creates. It's gonna drag the Graves and the Singed up, right? Galio can choose where he wants to go, and Kindred can always flash out. So this might wind up looking stupid, especially if Kindred just goes over this back wall, right? And just leaves the play. But what I think I would do if I was Kindred here, I think I would almost always pressure the Aatrox and slide past the scuttle and try to bait the pressure of the mid and the jungle to chase after the play, because I can always leave with flash. If I've already started fighting Aatrox anyways, I might as well just get the maximum. If it's a shit spot and I've got to leave, I might as well annoy them to the absolute maximum. Does that all make sense, everybody?
I think she went there because she wanted her mark, and the mark was on the scuttle.
Yes.
So could she just, if she has smite up, couldn't she queue forward to hit the scuttle on the way up as she gets away?
She
to
doesn't
get
have smite up,
her
so
mark?
it
Oh,
makes
okay.
it a little messier for sure. I think she will still try to take it and slide up is the way that it's going to play. We'll see what she does, though. So a lot of push and pull happening, right? And just like I said, she's probably going to go upriver a lot of the time, mainly because she knows she can drag Graves up there. And she could pressure it if Graves gets distracted. And then she's still able to have the option of like taking her camps if she wants. Did you guys just notice what she did? Let's see. Let's see. Nate Bond, you're in here, right?
Yes, sir.
Nate Bond, did you just notice what she just did?
Can we play it back again?
See it?
She's playing the vision line.
Good. Good answer. So she made a I really want you guys to see the little details like this and see what high elo players are thinking about, okay? Most players wouldn't even notice this. Watch very closely. Watch that melee creep, okay? Everybody see? See the melee creep? Watch what Kindred does. Realizes she's about to step on vision. Watch. And backs away from it. Then moves out. Everybody see that? Now, that may not seem like a big deal. Like, that may seem like a minor thing. But you have to understand, if Kindred moves like this, Graves knows that she's backing and plays differently as a result. Right? Graves might just go right into her top side, into her chickens, into her golems, all sorts of shit as a result. Graves doesn't feel comfortable doing that right now because Kindred can still be there. But if Graves sees Kindred backing, Graves might just get mad and just start roaming around in the jungle. Right? It's just like a little detail. It doesn't seem like a lot at the time, but Graves can't know for sure exactly what Kindred's thinking. And now, because she does this little fake, she even does something even more creative and tries to set up with the Galio. All right. Let's see here. Rabbit. What do you think Kindred's thinking here? Why is she here? Like, what's the logic? Let's hear it.
She's trying to set up a gank.
Trying to set up a gank? Why do you think
or a
that?
dive.
You think she's gonna dive?
Well, she's trying to stay out of vision.
Sure.
And yeah, so she's trying to stay out of vision so Galio could get on the wave, shove it in, and tower dive.
Do you see Galio's mana?
At level 4. Yeah, okay. So no, that can't happen.
Okay, what else? What else could it be?
Trying to shove the wave in so Galio can get it back.
That's a pretty good answer. Let's dive more into that. So, what about the possibility? You said gank earlier. There's a word that I'm looking for.
Dive.
There's all options, right? A dive is an option. Okay. A gank is an option. But what do you call it when you're there and the jungler shows up? I know you've heard this term. I highly doubt you have it. If you know, like, set up a, or push a wave for your laner. What's the FPS shooter that Valorant was modeled after?
I have no idea.
Okay, what's the FPS shooter that's really fucking popular on Steam?
Call of Duty?
Call of Duty? No. The shooter, like the really popular shooter, the one that all the PC players play.
I don't know.
Counter-Strike.
Oh, man.
Oh, Counter-Strike. Okay.
Yeah.
Green.
So that's your hint, Counter-Strike, right? What am I looking for? What is the term that I'm looking for? I'm gonna draw it out of you if it kills me. I just gave you the biggest hint in the world. Wow, the nerves are really getting you today, huh?
Yeah, big time.
Counter gank.
Counter gank. Oh, wow.
You've heard that term, have you not?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. So the reason, what I'm looking for here is basically you were right. You were right in terms of you're basically protecting your Galio, right? Your Galio wants to shove. Okay? And the Galio doesn't feel comfortable shoving because, like we said going into this, that if Galio fights Aatrox, Galio's always going to lose. So what Kindred's thinking, she stayed out of vision. She's thinking about pushing the wave in. Graves has to, Graves can gank this often if Graves knows, right, that Galio's there. So what they're looking for is they're looking to get a shove, maybe some sort of cheeky play where Aatrox overplays into the wave, and then Kindred shows up. So watch for Galio to do some weird shit here. Probably they're just going to have to go into shove mode. I don't know if Galio actually has enough mana to do much. It looks like he has enough to hit. It actually looks like he has just enough mana to E and W. So let's see what they wind up doing. Oh, so the idea here is pretty good, I think. I think Galio actually routes poorly here, if I'm not mistaken. We'll see it again. You're mostly right, my guy. You're mostly right. I mean, really,
I was almost right.
No, you're mostly right. You just didn't come up with the term that I was looking for. Because remember, League is about options, right? Like, obviously, a dive is possible. I don't know how they're ever going to do it, but like a dive would be possible. Maybe if Galio has more mana, right? Maybe if Kindred has a little bit more health. A dive is possible. I don't think it's a good idea because I think Graves would just walk over and kill him, right? Shoving is good because Galio can't shove on his own, right? And a counter gank is also a good look because there's a chance that Graves sees Galio pop his head out and then Graves pass up. Kindred needs to protect that if that happens. So this is something that shows up in higher elo a lot, where you basically have to fix lanes in bad matchups and bad situations. Jungler's responsibility often becomes like, wave management and just making sure like, okay, this wave, if I'm not here, this game I could just lose the whole game. Like if I'm not here. So that's basically why Kindred is there. And Galio's mistake. Oh, so Galio makes a mistake. Guys, you know what it is?
I think Galio held his taunt too long.
You think he held his taunt too long?
Well, his taunt slows him, so he probably needs to move closer to him.
Yeah, so my thing is, I actually just don't like the pathing. That's what I was going to ask you.
Okay. So he should move closer to the turret, move down more?
Yeah, I think so. I think it would make a lot more sense with the ghost. So the idea of the ghost engage is pretty cool, right? With Galio. But the problem is here, notice that they don't land anything is what is the problem, right? And the reason they don't land anything is because Galio paths lazily. He passed like this instead of using the ghost move speed to get to where the Aatrox is going to be. You're going to see it doesn't look like a big deal until it happens. And right there, notice, look at that line. See that?
Yeah.
Had Galio had just moved like this instead of like this, he actually will always get the taunt there. And that means they're always going to get the kill there. And that means that if they get the kill there, they're probably going to get a lot more gold off of this play. They're probably going to get, they're going to get the kill. They're going to get the wave under. They might even be able to sneak a plate in the time.